question earlier on absentee landlords. Now, the only thing I hate worse than neglectful absentee landlords is neglectful absentee candidates. Okay? So I'd like to know, if you do get elected, what will you put into place so that you do have to face the public? Not just 2.5 weeks before a campaign, a primary, but year round. Start anyway, please. Thank you.
Anybody in particular? Okay, Melissa?
I can answer. So right now, I started a website, and on my website, I have a poll, like a survey, a way that people can reach out to me and voice their concerns. You can also suggest questions that I ask the rest of the community. You might be going through something and don't know if others are, and I can put it on my survey. Right now it is online, but as I'm going around, I will be having people filling it out so that I can actually have proof of what you guys really, what your concerns are, and what people are really worried about. I've been a street worker for 10 years. My cell phone 24 hours a day, okay? It's really open. I know at 2 o'clock in the morning when you got that something going on, you got that idea in your head, and if you don't get it out, I don't mind. You can call me if I'm sleeping. You can leave me a message, and I'm really good about getting back to people. If I don't know the information, I have been trained in nonviolence and conflict resolution for a long time. I'm very good at going out and gathering in the information, bringing it back to the community, making a commitment to make some change, finding some resolutions and picking what's gonna bring us to a reconciliation on any issue that we have. So I also am hoping that my house, my mom might not like this idea, my brother, but you guys can knock on my door anytime and let me know anything. I am a open book and an open door.
All right, who'd like to answer next? Rodney.
I've been saying this for a while now. We need to hold our officials responsible, to be responsible to answer it. I'm sorry, thank you. My plan has been and will be, if elected to the council, that every person elected by the people of Pawtucket, state and city, have to meet quarterly as a whole. And if you miss more than one meeting, you are subject to recall. That meeting will be open to the public. It has to be transparent. That meeting is for all representatives to be on the same page. Not go to the State House and that's it. Forget Pawtucket. Now you're working for the Speaker of the House or this. You were elected by the people of Pawtucket. You need to come up with a plan for Pawtucket. You need to come up with a strategy for Pawtucket. And that strategy and plan will be on paper and needs to be followed. To be changed would be a unanimous vote by all the representatives at that meeting. And again, public input will be welcome and open. We need to listen to our people, but we need to, as a whole, work for Pawtucket. The people of Pawtucket elect us. We need to work for them, not after we're elected. Everybody,
30 seconds.
They always worry about, every politician says the same thing until they get in. And it's true, but it's because of the atmosphere and what's been going on for years. If you go to the State House, they tell you right away, you vote our way or you get nothing done. Well, these people, butt kisses or whatever, they don't have the guts to stand up and say, no, that's not right, and I'm going to expose what you said and what you're doing. I'm not going to vote your way to get my way. You need to vote what's right and do the right thing for the people who elected you.
Thanks. Okay, who'd like to answer next?
I'll take it.
Emmanuel?
My palm card is back there. It contains my phone number, my email, Facebook, Twitter. My address is 166 Woodhaven Road in Pawtucket.
Could you speak up, please?
Yes, definitely. So all of my contact information is listed on my palm card there in the back. You can come visit me in my home once I'm elected. We can have conversations about the things that are important to you, but I also believe that data is a very powerful tool. My brother used to call me a nerd when I was growing up, and I used to think it was an insult. Now I think it's a compliment, because data can tell us how many people are showing up at council meetings, what the absenteeism rate is of your elected officials. But I also want to bring that information to you in the form of something called participatory budgeting, which means before we pass your budget every year on where your city tax dollars go, we are accountable to breaking it down for you in a manner in which you can understand how much is going to roads, how much is going to sidewalks, how many miles of roads we plan on paving, how many miles of sidewalks we plan on redoing, what our chronic absenteeism targets are for the school department. I would want to work with the school committee to have that data available. I believe that accountability means you're more transparent and you have tools that you can share through the city website and that we can communicate on with you that show you things. Another measure for accountability is thinking about how we can ensure that government does this automatically. So one of the things that I want to talk about in my quarterly meetings with the public is going to be snow removal, street sweeping, putting GPS trackers on government vehicles. So if we're telling you we plowed your road, we have proof that someone went down your road and plowed it. And I think that's the type of communication we expect from our elected officials.
10 seconds left.
Everyone has great ideas, but people only want to voice them every 2 years when they're campaigning. I want to be an accessible and responsive voice to you year round.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
I'd like to echo what Emmanuel said in terms of participatory budgeting. I think it's important to have open lines of communication. While I was walking my neighborhood and knocking on doors, there was someone walking on the street, and he was like, "Oh, you're running and you live right near here." And he was like, "People are gonna knock on your door all the time." And I was like, "That's fine. I live at 87 Boutwell. Come knock at my door. My palm card is also in the back. Has my cell phone number, my real email address, so you can reach out to me anytime." I think it's important for any elected officials to keep the lines of communication open with constituents. Otherwise, how would you know exactly what is needed in different areas? So again, I will be someone who will amplify the voice of the community. I think it's important to hold quarterly meetings. I like Crash Pawtucket was started. I think we should have more initiatives that involve the community, where people can also just talk about, it doesn't necessarily, don't just reach out if you have an issue. We can meet to discuss, you know, whether someone wants to start something or see something change within their neighborhood. There should always be lines of communication that are open, and I am definitely someone who is receptive to feedback or any communication. Thank you.
And not to sound like a broken record, but as I was going door to door, I asked someone, what is it that you want from a city councilman? That's what my campaign is about. I want to be your voice. So I want to hold quarterly meetings, if not even more, for the community. Our mayor right now was doing, especially his first couple of terms, was doing more of, if there was a political issue, he would have a meeting over in Fairlawn, he would have it in Darlington. I want to have a community meeting with almost like a Seinfeld episode about nothing. I want to hear from you. What is it that's concerning you individually that I can voice on the city council? Talking about palm cards, my lovely with this dashingly handsome face with my beautiful children. They are mine, honest to goodness, they're just incredible. My palm cards back then, when I was developing, someone turned to me and said, "You're gonna put your landline on there?" Yes, I'm that old fashioned, I have a landline. And I said, no, because I probably won't answer it that often. My cell phone is on there, my personal email is on there, because I want to be receptive to you. I want to make sure to be reached. I want to be reachable, because that's what a city councilman, anyone seeking office should be. They should be here, they should be present, and they should be answering to every community in the city of Pawtucket.